everyone, this is Tamara from shelfaddiction.com, and welcome to episode 75. We're here live today recapping and reviewing the latest episode of The Walking Dead, episode 12. We're broadcasting live from shelfaddiction.com/podcast. Whether you're joining me from shelfaddiction.com or listening live via the Spreaker app, leave a comment. We would love to hear your thoughts on last night's episode. If you enjoyed live episodes, go ahead and share this on Twitter right now. Show your support by rating the podcast and leaving a positive review on iTunes. The podcast can be found on the Spreaker app, iTunes, Google Play Music, the Stitcher app, and more. Want to comment on something you've heard during today's episode? Leave a comment now. You can also find me on Twitter at Shelf Addiction. You can also find Lisa on Twitter at Lisa Orban Author. If you'd like to email in feedback or questions, feel free to reach out to me at info@shelfaddiction.com. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Tamara.
How are you?
Oh, I'm really excited about this last episode.
Me too. I'm like, it was so good. I'm just so excited to jump into it. There's so much to talk about.
I know. It was a lot more excitement than last week's.
Yep.
You know, a lot more was happening. I'm just so excited.
I know. Actually, I love that, coming off of kind of a slower episode, things are picking up again. And they like to do that to us, a little bit of something and then kind of it dies down a little. But, what can you do? Oh,
I know. I think, and I know it wasn't supposed to be funny, but it was, but them rolling into all of those walkers in that car with a car with no brakes.
I know. He's like, it won't stop. The brakes are out.
Right. And she jumps in the,
in the trunk. I'm like, who jumps in the trunk?
Well, it's because of the bullets were being fired.
Yeah.
That's
true.
And he's like, you okay back there? Yeah, I'm fine.
That whole thing was kind of like a fiasco. It was so funny. Even though we had a couple scares here and there, it was just hilarious to me.
Yeah, I mean, and when they found all the MREs, and she's like, and I'm going to eat 5 more, and all I could think to myself is, and she never wants to poop again in her lifetime, ever.
Or the opposite. I mean, you had the chili that does the whole,
No, you don't understand with MREs. They're designed to make you, because you eat them in the field, so going to the bathroom is inconvenient in the field.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Dreadful.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they better drink a bunch of water. They did find water, so that's good.
Yeah. You don't want to eat a lot of these. Okay, bad things happen.
Oh, no. But you gotta think their body would adjust, though, right? When that's all you have, that's all you got. You've got to adjust.
Well, I mean, you will eventually, but it's going to be bad. Ugh. It's going to be a bad day. You're going to be holding the stall wall, so to speak. I mean, it's going to be bad.
Gross, nasty. I can't.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just, for those of you who don't know.
I know. Isn't that so romantic, though? Like, for real? Like, let's eat these MREs that might put us in the, into a horrible situation later, but it's all good.
They're tasty. A lot of them are anymore.
Right.
But it's terrible, man. So that's my thought, going through that. I'm like, oh no, don't eat 5. Please God, don't eat 5.
They were hungry. They don't care. They were hungry.
I know there were canned goods there too.
Let's eat 5 of those, followed by, some
prune juice,
private time, and that doesn't seem like a good mix. Like,
It really doesn't. But it was really nice to see this really nice moment between the two of them, because we don't get that very often.
Right.
Because there's so much more going on, and they're always being pulled in other directions by other people, by Carl and the baby, and the city, and and of course Negan and everybody else. So it was just kind of nice to see the two of them having a moment.
Yes, for sure. I mean, honestly, when they kind of started this whole thing, I kind of felt like it was a little, not really like I believed it. I didn't think it was very authentic. But I'm like, well, I guess they could end up together. There's not many options. They're kind of, and then, over time, I've bought them as a couple. I've kind of, started shipping the whole little Rishon thing. That's what they're calling them.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I was kind of anti. I'm like, I don't know. But, okay, I get it.
I kind of see, and I kind of see where you're coming from, and I kind of felt that too. But at the same time, I was like, like you said, there's not a lot of options. And the two of them together were better than they were apart. And you could see that whenever they were together. And I think they recognized that in the other person.
Right.
And neither one of them really needed the other. Mm-hmm. But they kind of grew to need each other. And I think it was just kind of nice to see the two of them. And I think that's part of the reason why Rick didn't, kept saying another day, just a little bit more time. I think he was really enjoying this small bubble of happiness because he's been so unhappy.
Oh, I know. It's been horrible. But I mean, he kind of got to that place where, kind of jumping ahead a little bit. But Michonne, I thought she was like, okay, so you fall in love. That doesn't mean you have to get dumb. Like, okay, yes, it is horrible if he is being eaten. But do not let yourself be got by those walkers because, I mean, you're like, she froze. And I couldn't believe she would ever do that.
I know. I was screaming at the TV. I'm like, don't drop your sword, you idiot.
Right.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
He's not worth it.
No.
Just Rick.
Like, you have to live. You know, come on. What about his kids? You kind of taking them under your wing. It's like your own, sort of.
Yeah,
like, you can't just roll over and die. And I mean, I get it. Yes, it would be traumatizing, but still, you've got to live. And, Rick kind of made that point when it was all over. He's like, look, you're living in a world where you can fall in love one day and that person can be dead the next day. Right. So,
Yeah, that till death do us part can be really narrow, And yeah, I mean, it's been this really rocky road, and it was kind of shocking to see how vulnerable she has gotten because of him.
Mm-hmm. And that might be a bad thing. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being mean, but
yeah, I mean, I don't want her to accidentally die because something happens to Rick, because I'm pretty sure something's going to happen to Rick. Yeah.
I know, foreshadowing a little bit. And I don't know if he's going to die, but I do feel like when I first saw that scene, I said, this looks awfully familiar. It kind of looks like, when what's-his-face crawled up under the trash bins, and we all thought that he was dead. And I'm like, I'm like, hold on.
Actually, the scene that I thought of was one of the very first one where he met Glenn and the walkers went after the horse. Mm-hmm. And then he crawled into the tank and then Glenn came and saved him. And I thought of that, and then later on he brings up the fact that, Glenn had saved him, but he couldn't save Glenn. Right. Right. But, the deer saved him, saved his butt this time. And I thought that was kind of interesting. There was that little bit of, hearkening back to the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I didn't see it that far back. I just thought about how everyone thought Glenn was dead. And, like, they tried to do a fake out. And everyone, momentarily they had us thinking that maybe Rick could have been eaten. But honestly, I didn't buy it. The whole time, I'm like, no, they would not kill off a major character like this in such a farewell type way. I'm like, no, that is the deer. I knew it the whole time. I'm like, it can't be. And then when it wasn't, I was like, phew, okay.
Yeah, but man, I don't know. I really did think Michonne was, what I thought, because I'm like, I know that's not Rick. I know it's that stupid deer. I know it is. Mm-hmm. But when Michonne, dropped her sword and everything else, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to kill off Michonne.
I know.
And I thought this would be like the most horrible thing, because she dropped her sword because she thought he was dead. And then she gets bitten and he pops out of that box and then, and then they have to kill her. I just thought, oh my God, this is going to be like the most terrible thing ever.
Yeah. I did wonder if she was going to die, though. I knew Rick wasn't, but I did wonder about her. Mm-hmm. But,
I'm glad it didn't.
Oh, I know. I mean, he's dealt with a lot. I'm like, that guy, one more big hit this quick and he'll be right back in the dumps.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now, and I have this one complaint right now because they're looking at all these walkers, and all I could think to myself is, you guys know that if you slather your bodies with the dead ooh,
yeah,
you can walk among them,
mm-hmm.
and they won't pay attention.
Yeah.
So why not, knowing they have to go through that many walkers, slather themselves with goo, and then just walk through there and silently kill them all?
I'll tell you why. They might want to make out later, so they don't want that stuff on them.
Okay, they found an entire thing. There was a stream not that far from there. Okay, they briefly showed it. They could have jumped in the stream. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. You know,
it's not as exciting. That's why they did it to us. That's all. Cut and dry. It's not as fun.
I know. I guess I'm just letting you know that if I find out in our upcoming zombie apocalypse that slathering myself with goo will work, I am going to really stink a lot. Okay.
Okay.
As I slather myself with goo, just letting you know I'm taking the easy way out.
Yeah. Well, you know what else was fun about them on this excursion? It was kind of fun to see Rick in a different kind of way. Usually, he's all like a stick in the mud and he's trying to be responsible, but he was kind of laid back and like he was on vacation,
Yeah. That's exactly what these two were having, a little vacation. I mean, when you live in the apocalypse, this is a vacation.
Mm-hmm. MREs and all, yeah.
Yeah. And then the fact that they stole the beer and pretzels and a battery from the saviors.
I know.
Playing golf. But you know what I wondered? I wondered when I saw that beer and pretzels. I'm wondering if that's from the beer and pretzels that
what's his face
Dwayne
left? Yeah. Dwayne.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought of that too.
Because that looked exactly like. I mean, now it could be because it was home brew and stuff that they just brought it from the same place, but. I just kind of wondered about that.
And I mean, they were scavenging, so it's totally possible they came across that house.
Mm-hmm. And took his beer and pretzel.
Yeah. Somebody left it here. I guess we're eating it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And, but then, they got all the guns and all that stuff. And then, they met with the junkyard people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they are creating their next big enemy with these guys.
Yeah, I could see it because they're really greedy. I mean, first off, they never said how many guns is many guns, right? How many did they actually want? So they brought a lot, and they're like, this isn't enough. We want all of these plus some. I'm like, what?
Right. Yeah. And the way they're acting is not... This is really outside of the normal realm of human behavior, the way they act, mm-hmm. and the way they talk, and the fact that we don't, we take, we don't do,
right,
and they even have rules for the taking. I mean, it basically has to be opportunistic.
Mm-hmm.
They can't plan it. They can't say, "Oh, I'm going to go take this from this place, but I have to do this to get it." Only if it comes easy to them. Yeah. And the way they're acting, I am really starting to wonder if maybe, that these are mental patients from an escaped asylum.
That could be a possibility, but I mean, Jadis doesn't seem crazy. She just seems greedy and lazy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, the way they all act, I mean, they're not, they act in very weird patternistic ways.
Mm-hmm.
And, they were barking and growling, and they don't seem to have a lot of remorse. And just the way they behave, it's not, there's something seriously weird with these people. And if it's not, if they're not escaped asylum people, then I don't know. But it's not, there's something terribly wrong with them.
Yeah. But Rick isn't feeling that way. He just barters with them and he's like, fine. Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
He's like, whatever. I mean, he does do a good job bartering, but...
Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of them. I mean, there are a lot of them. And none of them show anything like remorse or compassion or empathy.
Yeah.
I mean, they are all very distant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like they found an entire colony of sociopaths living together.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so giving them guns and giving them power, they could get rid of one Negan and replace him with 68 of them.
I know.
You know?
But, you know, in that moment, it's like, okay, he's negotiating with them, bartering, whatever. And then Rosita, that girl needs to take a chill pill. She needs to stay in her lane. Shut up. Sit down in the corner.
Well, I mean, and she is taking all of this so very personally. And I understand that Abraham died, and I understand that there was a lot of bad things. But the fact of the matter is, Eugene wouldn't have been taken if she hadn't have shot the gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
She created that fiasco. He was willing to let everything go once, you know, he killed, was it Dwight? No, not Dwight. What's his name?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
We all know who I'm talking about.
What's his face? The redhead guy.
You know, the pool playing guy. Yeah, the pool playing guy. Yeah, I mean, he was willing to let all of that go once he had killed him. But she had, no, she had to bring that gun out, and she had to shoot that bullet, and then she didn't even hit him, you know, hit his bat. And
I know. You know what? The thing is, she's so spoiled and bratty. Like, first off, you're not the only one who lost someone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's lost somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you know, Glenn is gone. Maggie lost Glenn. Oh, my God.
Her freaking husband, and she's not going batshit crazy.
Yeah. You know, I mean, Carl has lost his mother.
Yeah.
And
he had to kill his own mother.
Yeah. Exactly. He had to kill his own mother. I mean, you know, the fact is, you know, I mean, they've even taken in people from other groups, like from the governor's group into theirs. And, you know, and even though they had lost people to the governor. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you know, Maggie lost her father to the governor, you know.
Right.
So, I mean, this personal vendetta thing she has got going on, and not wanting to wait and not wanting to plan and to fix it right now, which isn't practical, is just, she's going to upset like 80 apple carts trying to bulldoze her way through this.
It's so risky. Like, I can see her being the one, like, the plan is a go. Everything is in a line, and I can see her being the one variable that screws it up because she's on her own agenda.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I don't know. I kind of hope they trip and fall and die somewhere. You know, not everything. And I hate to say that because I have liked both of their characters, but her and Sasha both, but they are taking this so personally.
Yeah. You know, I thought that Sasha had more sense than to feed into that. I really did.
Mm-hmm. I did too, but apparently we were wrong.
Oh, yeah, we were.
Well, and then I'm kind of wondering, because Tara is now wanting to tell Rick about, you know, the river people.
Right.
And I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's, I know that they're probably going to go and interact with them, but I don't think it's going to work out so well.
Well, you know what? Tara held off longer than I thought she should have. But I guess it worked. I mean, honestly, the Oceanside people have weapons. Lots and lots of weapons. And it's going to be risky going there. I mean, they've got their stuff together. They're willing to kill people not to find them. So, best scenario is Tara leads them there, and she somehow is confronted by the one girl that was helping her before. That's going to be their saving grace. But they're not going to want to jump into that. They're not going to want to be a part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think all around that's going to be a bad deal. And I think that there's someone that they could turn to later on and have them rejoin society, and they could be very powerful. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure a lot of them would, you know, like to step out and maybe have kids eventually. Mm-hmm. Or a boyfriend. Yeah. But yeah, I am seeing, I'm watching all these different groups, and they've all adapted in different ways to survive what's going on. And I'm just thinking, oh, this is going to be a mess when they all get together.
You know what? It's going to be so disorganized. The right doesn't know what the left's doing. I can't see. I mean, it's going to be a cluster. It's just going to be like by the skin of their teeth. If they get through that, that's what it's going to be by. And a lot of people are going to die. A lot of people.
Well, and I was, when Michonne was talking to Rick, when they were having their little candlelight dinner, and anyway, and she says, you know, someone's going to have to be the leader of the people, and I'm yelling, King Ezekiel! It needs to be King Ezekiel!
You know what? Yes, you know what it is. He needs to be the head, and Rick needs to be the neck, because he has the charisma to pull it off, but I think that Rick actually, I think he has the sense to know how to arm everyone and how to organize everyone to win. I'm not sure Ezekiel does, but if they work in that way, you know where
But you know what? If you look at the two societies, King Ezekiel's has done actually far, far better than Rick's group has.
No, but he's not a fighter. He's just
trying to... No, he's not. But he is a good leader. You know, and I mean, they could make Rick general of the army or the head policeman or his first lieutenant. But yeah, no, King Ezekiel is, I think, the only personality on the show that could actually pull all these different groups together. And I think even the junkyard people might respect him because he's got a tiger, and I think they'd be impressed.
Right. You know? I mean, I agree with that. I think he probably should be the face, but I don't think he should be making the decisions. I think he should be the person actively pulling the troops together and making pronouncements and speeches and all of that stuff. But I'm not confident he should be the person organizing the attack. I just don't.
Right.
I feel like...
Well, I mean, but a good leader doesn't have to be good at everything. They just have to be good at picking the right people to be good at something for them. So he could look around and say, okay, Rick, you are really good at killing people, so we'll put you in charge of that. Yeah. And we're going to put this person in charge of this, and then you all come back and we all discuss how we're going to make this all work together. And I really think King Ezekiel is about the only personality right now that could pull every one of these very diverse of groups together, just because he does have a cult of personality. He really has that, I mean, that voice and the tiger and the look and the style and the flair. Oh, yeah, he's got it all together, man.
He does. I mean, when it comes down to it, I am curious to see when it all shakes out, who will be the head, right? Who will be in charge? Because, I mean, honestly, Maggie's a strong contender. She just hasn't had as long to build her people. You know what I'm saying? She's in a situation where she kind of just got put there. But I think she's equally as strong as far as talking people into doing things.
Well, and I can even see, like, Maggie, you know, being in charge of Hill Tower, and Rick being in charge of Alexander, and, you know, everyone kind of keeps their own individual leaders, but all of those leaders of each of these individual groups then, you know, go to King Ezekiel, who organizes everything and pulls them together as a collective whole, as opposed to
I don't think they're going to do that. Settlements. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because first off, Negan, like, is that person where he wants to be in charge of everyone. He has a bunch of little places that report to him. They're trying to take that kind of thing down. So they're going to act as a council, probably. They're not going to have a leader.
That's what I'm saying, that each of these leaders, you know, they're the community organizers, the ones that are in charge of their cities. You know, they're part of this council, and then they all get together, and Ezekiel's the figurehead, but he's also the person everyone looks to, you know, as making the pronouncements. And I think that would be the best way to run it, because everyone would have a say. And if nothing else, Ezekiel is fair. He's always fair.
I know, but I just can't imagine people agreeing to that after just getting from up under Negan's thumb. Even though he seems, think about it, all those people haven't worked with him forever. All those people haven't been in his community.
That's true.
I mean, just for that point alone, I feel like they're going to be equals. I really do.
Yeah. But I'm kind of thinking about every time one new group goes in and sees King Ezekiel, they all just kind of go,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. He's got the flair. Moment. He's got the flair for sure.
They all had that moment, and I think they need that. They need someone who can do that, so when they meet new groups to bring them in, they can go, this is King Ezekiel. Yeah. You know. So they're starting off feeling not quite as powerful simply because of the way that setup is. And honestly, I mean, the kingdom really is the most organized, the most prolific, and the most productive of all of the communities.
But I mean, I just think about like where they are right now. He didn't take the lead. He's not pulling people in. It's Rick. He's going to the different groups. He's organizing. He's talking people into doing what he wants to do, not Ezekiel.
I know. I'm just saying. Yeah. Although I'm really curious what's going to, because there at the end of the episode, Carol walks into the kingdom, and all those people are standing and looking at her like, well, we were going to come out and kill those guys for you, but, I guess you got it covered. And, they were looking a little unsure because, everyone assumes less of Carol. And to watch her just take care, just knock him out. She's not even sweating. She's not even breathing hard. She's like, all right, I need to talk to King Ezekiel now. Or where's Morgan? She needed Morgan. Yeah. And she knows.
Just wait till she gets the truth. She's going to get the truth, and she's going to be like, oh, she's going to be seeing red. Like, oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't think she's going to be mad at Daryl, because I think she's going to know he was trying to protect her from herself even.
Right.
And I don't think she's going to be mad at him, but man, Carol's going to be a force to be reckoned with here pretty soon.
Yeah, but I don't think she's going to be mad at Morgan either, because she pretty much told them, leave me to my own devices.
Right. No, I mean, I think she's going to be mad at Negan.
Oh,
she's going to be ready. I mean, and I think she might have the pull with Ezekiel to really get him in gear and on board with all of this. So, I don't know. Oh, I did want to, before the end of our show, I did want to mention briefly about, we were talking about Eugene and whether he had flipped or not. And I came across this quote, and it was right when he had found that smeltery, and he was talking to Abraham.
Yeah.
And Abraham's like, you can't do this, that, and the other. And he made the comment, the key to survival is allowing oneself to be shaped by the assigned environment. In doing so, a broad range of capabilities are acquired, allowing one to flip the script and use said capabilities to shape said environment for maximum longevity. I am saying I'm in the process of said stage 2. I changed, adapted, and I'm a survivor. And I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, wait a minute. He is changing and he is adapting to his environment to flip the script.
Yeah. I can see that. I could see it. Now listening to that quote, I could see him just kind of laying in wait until an opportunity comes up, and then him kind of contributing it in his way. I don't know what that way would be, but his way.
Oh, I could see him, strategically placing bombs all the way around. I don't know. Because, I mean, I know he doesn't want to kill indiscriminately, but I think, by being where he is and by playing along and seeming to adapt to his environment there, they're pretty much going to give him full range to do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
And probably way more power than almost anybody else outside of Negan, because of the things that he can do, and he has impressed Negan. And he is not replaceable.
Yes, so, and in that sense, Carol's doing the same thing that he is. Like, he's blending like a chameleon. While he does have things that make him irreplaceable, he seems harmless as a fly. He seems like, so... Yeah, so I'm kind of going right now with, my opinion right now is he is being a chameleon as much as Carol is in his own way. Yeah. And
he's waiting for his opportunity, whatever that opportunity may be that presents itself.
Yeah, so, I think, how many episodes do we have left? Like 4? 4 more?
I think so, yeah.
It's coming to a close. I'm really curious. I feel like, because I'm still unclear of if Negan will be taken down at the end of this season or not. I wonder how far they're going to get us. I mean, because as of 4 episodes out, the team is not fully assembled. They don't have all the weapons.
I'm thinking they're probably going to end this season with them all kind of gathered together on the plains, so to speak, going, we can do this!
Yeah.
The end. See you next season.
Yeah. And people they don't necessarily like Negan's character, but they like that actor, so they're probably going to get some more longevity out of him some way. So
I'm pretty sure he's going to make it to the next season, because they're really building up to this fight and getting all these people together and drawing everyone in, and I think they're going to end this season with the whole big mass and trying to, on the verge of, attacking Negan, and Negan not having any idea what's going on. Not yet.
Right.
Unless, of course, Sasha and Dum Dum happen to get caught.
Those dummies, they deserve to get caught. They're so stupid.
I know, but if they get caught, you know what's going to happen? They're going to spill the beans, man. They're going to say everything because he's going to torture them, and they're going to tell.
You know what? I don't know. I can see Rosita taking it. I mean, she seems tough. I feel like she would let herself be killed before she tells.
No, I don't. I think she's very fragile.
Really?
I mean, Sasha, I would consider strong. She has that real quiet strength going with her, but no.
Rosita's stubborn. I don't think she's quote unquote strong. She's just so stubborn. She's not going to let someone get the best of her.
I know, but she is like having, an existential crisis every 30 seconds. So, so I'm hoping they don't get caught.
Well, if they get in there, they better get those. Look, they better get those pills from what's his face, so Eugene. They can kill them. Yes, Eugene, so they can kill themselves if anything happens.
Hey, well, there are 2 pills, and they are basically for their weight type. So I guess he could slip from those pills.
Yeah, here you go.
Ta-da! So you don't get your face burned off.
Yeah.
Death. It's better than death.
Yeah, for sure.
Or death is better than that. I mean.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. I just think that they're going to try and screw everything up while everyone else is getting everything nice and planned and organized and ready to go, and those 2 are just going to come in and they're going to stomp around like it's going to be terrible. Yeah.
Unless Maggie catches them. I mean, it's possible, being that she's working with Sasha. Maybe Maggie can stop this train.
Well, and and Daryl is on his way back to Hill Tower. So it is possible that he might run into them on the road too and just go, "What are you 2 idiots doing?"
Right. Like, you 2 are dumb as box of rocks, I tell you.
Yeah. Let's go back to Hill Tower. So yeah, it's hard to say. I'm hoping they don't screw everything up, and they might try. I don't know. They might even be part of the cliffhanger. Are they going to get caught? Is Negan going to do something bad to them? Kind of thing. I don't know.
Well, we will see, because I have not liked Rosita since day one. Something about her has rubbed me the wrong way for a long time.
Yeah, I've never been particularly fond of her character either.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
That's right. I guess, are we done?
I think so. Anything else you want to mention before we sign off?
No, not really. I'm really excited to see where we go. I'm hoping next week it's going to be concentrating maybe around Daryl and stuff, because I want to see what he's doing. I miss him.
I know. It'll be good to see them next week. Daryl and the Hilltop people. That would be fun, actually. So,
but I don't know if they are or not. The previews that I've seen don't show Daryl at all. They show Carol and stuff. So I'm hoping he comes back on, but I don't know.
Well, they can split the episode. They can split it.
Oh, yeah. They can.
For
so
sure.
I guess we're just going to find out.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll be here again next week. So tune in live, guys. Ask us your questions. We haven't gotten any questions yet, but we're waiting. We know you're out there, and we know you want to talk to us. So do it.
We have a hashtag.
Yes.
We have a hashtag.
Yes.
So use it and ask us questions, and we will answer them if we can during the show.
Yes, indeed. The hashtag is PCSTWD Live. That's Pop Culture Sunday, The Walking Dead Live. So PCSTWD Live. So yeah, hashtag and tweet at us, and we'll try to get your questions answered.
That's right.
All right,
See
guys.
you next week, guys.
All right, bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's PCS special live episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. First, you can head on over to iTunes and give a positive 5-star review. You can follow both myself and Lisa on Twitter. You can follow the Shelf Addiction Podcast on Spreaker, the only place where you can get broadcast notifications so that you never miss a live episode. Most importantly, you can share the podcast with friends and family that love pop culture. Thank you for listening. Until next time, happy viewing.